I'd like to talk about today to all of you high sensitives, HSPs of the world, is the subject of what we want to be when we grow up. Let me ask you this. What do you want to be when you grow up? When I was about 5 or 6, I decided I wanted to play the flute. And from that age to about 30, it was my dream to be a great flutist or flautist. From the time things went sideways, kind of kablooey with that dream, until I was about 40, all I wanted to do was figure out what I wanted to do that I wouldn't hate doing if I could play the flute. For the next 7 or so years, the best thing about work was leaving at the end of every day. Probably not so good. From the day that job ended and I began writing and editing and publishing books, I felt I'd found something I was not only good at, but that was creatively fulfilling enough. Still, I can't say I felt as if it were me, that I was completely doing me. That's why when the other day a friend told me, "You're just so Heidi," and my response was, "And getting more Heidi every day," I knew something really big had happened, which reminded me of all the times over my lifetime that people have asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. Not lately, but you know what I mean. No one, not even my parents, who really did support me through all the flute lessons, the piano lessons, the theory lessons, and graduating from college in the field of music, were particularly enamored when their friends asked the question, "What do you want to be, Heidi, when you grow up?" And I'd say, "I'm going to be a musician." I mean, you could see their eyes roll. "Oh, that's nice," they'd say, meaning, "Your poor parents." So I decided to ask myself this long, honored, traditional question again today. And no, we won't get into the fact that I'm of a certain age that might preclude that kind of question. Forget about it. Anyway, I closed my eyes and I posed the question. Heidi, do you know what you want to be when you grow up? And do you know what the answer was? You could have smacked me upside the head with a V8, because what came out of my mouth was, "Yes, absolutely, I want to be more of me." I was so excited. I was so excited by this spontaneous response that I did a little jig. It hasn't been this way in the past, which is why it's so important now. Because the thing is, if you don't really know who you are, how can you possibly want to be more of it? How can you possibly go around thinking, "Wow, this sure is so groovy. I think I'll go on being more me," and digging it? You can't, right? And while I'm absolutely, positively no Pollyanna, I will take a moment here to give you just a taste of how much my life has changed using the tools that I currently use and offer to you. What does more of me mean now? I love that I can say this, that I have the words to express what more of me means because I know it's true. I feel the resonance of this truth. More of me means more capacity for love, more ease, more generosity, more freedom, more abundance, more creativity, more inspiration, more joy, and more of the sheer doggedness to live a life of alignment. So, if I were to ask you, my lovely HSPs, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you think your answer would be? Good question, right? That's all for today, folks. Join me next time on the Celestial Professor channel, when we'll dig a little deeper into what makes us high sensitives tick. You can reach me at the links below, HeidiConnolly.com, etc., etc. Please, please, please like and share and subscribe so we can spread the word about elevating our HSP-ness and uplifting the world. Thank you.